Joining the super home movement's been great for business, not only because what I want to do is educate clients, help educate our staff, educate the subcontractors around us, but of course that is the end goal, is creating better homes and healthier homes for people to live in. That's the most important thing for me. Where we've gone is down a rabbit hole where there's lots of different solutions and products available across the board for everyone to learn about. So learning about that has been a great adventure for us.
It's actually bringing mindset into how can we make these things better, as well as the affordability and design aspects of it, and just making people aware that you don't have to build big, giant, cold, leaky boxes all the time. You can make your design amazing. You can make it affordable, and you can make it for future generations to live in your house is to be affordable to run, warm, dry, healthy, all those factors, and it's not too scary to do.
We've come a long way in 20 years, and I think, and so I think the momentum's there to do things better, and by and large, new people, clients, as well as people in the trade, both understand that it's important to do things better now. You know, there's enough momentum that enough people understand that it's really a good idea to do these things. And there's also data now to say, well, you know, if you do have a really well insulated and well designed home, your heating costs are going to be less, your level of comfort's going to be better. You know, you're probably going to be spending less money on winter pills to keep you feeling well, you know.
I mean, imagine going into a home and you go, the ambience of the house is just, it captures you, because it's the warmth that's coming up from the concrete, the silence around the house, and to know that that's all free every day. Oh.
You get these clients who have the time, they're taking the time to understand, they recognise the code is not sufficient. They want to build above it because they realise there's a better world out there. But they also know that at the moment, to do that, they're going to have to put some time into education and understanding.
Yeah, so the super home standard is well above the current building code. Even though the current building code's been lifted a little bit, it's still not enough, and it's not a holistic approach. Where the super home movement has a holistic answer, the Base Better Best tool, which is really great. So it gives people options about how they can do better. We find that a lot more of our clients are more educated when they come to us, which is really, really good.
And so, yes, I guess it's just been a journey, and rather than just sort of sticking with what's currently trendy and what's currently acceptable as a minimum standard in the building code, we've wanted to do things that make a bit more sense in terms of the durability and health of the participants. So, and when I explain to them, they say, "Oh, we've talked about a lot of this in super home." And they say, "Well, we are doing it to the building code," and we go, "No, we're definitely going to do more than the building code, because that's what you have to do. That's not what's best for you."
So what we're trying to do is take the complexity out of it and keep the messaging simple. So again, we listen to what people want, because if it gets too hard, it's amazing how many times people will go to the minimum building standard. And I think it's important that it is called a minimum building standard, because it is the lowest legal way that you can build a home in New Zealand.
So I think a lot of it is just around conversations, and obviously those conversations can be supported by good education. So things like what Superhome's proposing here is beneficial, in that it's a tool for me that I can point people to. It's a tool where people, when they're searching online, because we all do it now, we look online before we talk to anyone. So, think about how our habits have changed in the last 20 years. I think in the last 10 years, or say 10, 15 years ago, if I'd thrown SIPS panels or ICF, insulated concrete formwork, blockwork, and stuff in front of clients, they would be really concerned about this revolutionary new untested technology, even though you're telling them that it's been used overseas for years. Now they're coming to me and saying, I would like to use this product. And I'm just like, hallelujah.
And people should really be talking about how we can build better and what materials are available, and sort of just dropping this knowledge of that, this idea of that's how we've always done it and that's what we know and that's what we're going to continue to do, when there are better pathways, there are better ways to build that aren't necessarily hugely more expensive. This perception that building better is building so much more, putting more money into every project is actually a fallacy when the design is done right from the beginning.
We're not delivering the warm, healthy homes that a lot of people seem to profess to.
Mould is something that I think is really underrated when it comes to being an issue in New Zealand homes. Brands have lots of data out, and I think there's the Respiratory Foundation of New Zealand, or Asthma Foundation New Zealand, sorry. They have lots of information out about moisture in homes and how it causes mould and what it does to our health. It's something that can be solved.
I think there's a misconception about the upfront cost of building new and including all these high performance systems into your new build. But what people have got to look at the end game, the overall cost savings in power bills, doctor's visits, or lack of, as the case may be, turns into money that you can put into your mortgage, which lowers your interest rate as you drop it down. But what is probably not talked about is the well-being, mental well-being. I'm sure if I was living in a mouldy, damp house, I'd be getting down and sort of my work would be affected and my lifestyle would be affected. So I think just where people can be educated on how to build better and include these systems and improve their well-being is one of the key most important things.
I think the other thing that plays into this a little bit is just the New Zealand habit around how long they own their homes. So again, we need to be engaging people who are thinking about home ownership over a longer period of time, so they really get the benefit and the payback from the investment at the front end of that cycle. And those are good conversations. This is where we get into the real value behind building better. Everyone understands it intuitively in terms of reduced energy costs and better health and less moisture in the home and all those sorts of things. But at the end of the day, everyone's borrowed some money. They've got to make some decisions. Do I get the fancy tap or do I get the better windows? And that's we have those conversations just about every day.
From a design point of view, there are opportunities where we can give clients so much more for very little effort. Dealing with that tactile, dealing with that visual, dealing with that calm, dealing with the noise. Life's not slowing down at all. We're only ever getting busier by the looks of it. So, what can we do through the built environment that actually brings calm